Apple has announced a utility to fully expose to users how their information is being used. How big of a hypocrite would I have to be to come out against a tool like this? Let's find out on today's Not So Critical Update.
Love this. Brilliant. Apple are at it again with helping us out on the privacy front. I love it. Thank you, guys. You're doing it just for me, I know. This is Apple adding a feature called their App Privacy Report, which will tell you what your apps are doing in the background. So it will tell you which domains it's connecting to and which kind of sensors it's accessing and what data it's sending and, well, hopefully, and that kind of stuff. It's okay. I love this as a feature and a thing, but I feel a bit sorry for a company called Guardian, who make an app that does basically this. Apple are completely ripping them off. It's kind of a natural evolution though, because they've added the privacy nutrition labels to the apps on the App Store, which tell you the link data that's associated, well, taken in for an app. And Apple are a kind of unicorn in the privacy space because they're one of the few mega companies which actually have the clout to be able to do this kind of stuff and make privacy a feature, because everybody else relies on ads and tracking. So I don't know of any other massive company like this that can just get away with it.
And how do you think I feel about this, Peter?
Oh, I don't know. Great.
I am 100% all for it.
Oh, okay, great.
Because look, I applaud the technology, right? It's not about, so as a marketer, right, I think this should be outlawed, eliminated through legislation. Apple should be legally enjoined from doing such a thing because it's going to make my job harder.
There's going to be lawsuits, guaranteed. Right. Don't worry. There will be challenges to this.
But no, my entire position is like, if the technology can do it and somebody's going to do it, then why are you upset about it? It's just how technology works. Information wants to be free. This is a great example. Apple has the ability to expose this. I've never said hide these things from people the way you're using their data. I say, even if and the same thing will happen here. You're going to show this to people and are going to be like, okay, whatever. I mean, Peter Lowe and 3 other people are going to say, holy shit, I didn't know they were doing that. Let me uninstall this app. Okay, fair enough. Everybody else is going to go on about their day.
Single me out. Look,
I didn't single you out. I explicitly said you and 3 other people.
3 other people. Listen, me and the other pieces are very upset about this. No, it's been my 3 imaginary friends, right? It's just, here's the thing, though. You're wrong, because it's not. I know you're joking, but Apple would do this if there wasn't value, if they didn't think they were going to make money from it. They're interested in making money. So there is a significant enough number of people out there who care about privacy that Apple have bothered to invest the time and resources and development, to make this happen.
Or they know it'll get them good press, and people will say that they like the idea of it, and maybe they'll choose Apple over Android, but they won't actually change their behavior.
That's the same thing. It's the same thing. The good press results from looking good, which is doing something good, which is what they're doing. So
is it a good move for privacy, or is it a good move for marketing?
Both. Good for marketing. Well, maybe not such a great move for marketing, because they won't be able to get away with such sneaky things that they are currently doing. But hopefully it'll end up in them just using more ethical and actually useful ways of tracking people. Or at least giving them the choice.
But people have the choice. This is where... Who's going to make the trade-off? I'm not going to stop using my phone just because Apple tells me, oh, by the way, somebody's using this data for whatever. Okay, well, that's why I have the phone, so that we can do that.
we fundamentally disagree on this point, and I think this is something that I'm never going to get you around to seeing my point of view. People don't know it's happening, and people don't understand what's happening, and there's no way to find out it's happening.
It's not because the information is not available. It's not because the information hasn't been given to them. They either don't care or they don't understand it. So that you can't say like, you can't treat me this way because I didn't know you were doing it. And at the same time say, stop telling me that. I don't care. I don't want to listen to it. Like you don't get both. Like I can try and tell you something, and if you don't care, then I do what I need to do.
Is that what's happening though? Do you think?
Well, some companies try less fully than others, I'm sure.
Right. This happened, I know I brought this up before, but this happened in Europe and Malta with iGaming companies. So they were treating their customers badly. They weren't performing know your customer, or KYC checks it's called. So they weren't doing age checks properly. They weren't doing background checks. They were letting people, bet away their entire life savings. There was no, responsible gambling stuff in place. And it took a while, but eventually regulations came in place to prevent legally companies from operating that way, or they would lose their license. And when it happened, whole shitload of companies went bust because so I'm hoping that this is, the companies that stuck around either adapted their systems to be able to operate ethically, which they should have been doing in the first place, or they were just operating ethically in the first place, which giving it was gaming companies. There's probably not many of them. But the point with the apps, I'm hoping what will happen is that it's a form of regulation in a way. It's not quite, but it will allow companies to be called out on their dodgy activity with the network activity reports and stuff. So it's just a way of enabling users to make a choice and not forcing, but like strongly pushing unethical actors to not be dicks.
Sure, and that raises, I think, a really good point. Was it this segment that you represented me as the pure free market capitalist, or was that another side? I don't remember. But the point stands,
do it again, though.
In this case, as you said, it is to Apple's financial advantage to do something like this because their business model is based on selling hardware, not on selling ads. And this is something that makes their hardware more attractive by tightening the ecosystem of what applications want to be on their platform to sell ads. So it definitely reinforces the idea that this is how capitalism works. And it's probably a good example because it's not the government, the libertarians would be fully on board with this, saying the market will decide. Either people will buy into what Apple wants to do, and the people that want to be on Apple's platform will adjust their ad policies, as you were just saying, or people will say, but I like the experience on these other things better, so I'll go do that. So Apple versus Android is the fight between privacy and fun.
Well, that's what I started off saying, though, that Apple are a kind of unique in that respect. It is an argument for the capitalists of the world, unfortunately, but it's the only argument that I can think of that's really convincing. I don't think that because it doesn't apply to Google and I suppose Amazon. Amazon I don't really understand. Anyway, Google and Microsoft and Facebook, Meta rather. By the way, do you know the acronym FANG?
As soon as you say it, I'll feel dumb for admitting that.
Oh, it's Facebook, Apple, Netflix, and
yes,
Google.
yes.
Is it that going to become MANG now? Side question. We'll come back to that. Anyway,
so is this? You're saying this is? So you set this up as like an example of capitalism, unlike Google, Facebook, Amazon. But this is good, right? This is what you want to see.
It's a positive example of where you say that the market will ultimately decide the right thing. I think is the idea, isn't that? Is that right?
Well.
Okay. Right.
Wow, that's
perhaps.
I guess I would say the market will ultimately decide the most profitable thing.
Well, that's what I mean, isn't it?
Does that make it right or wrong? The problem is that corporations are amoral, not that they're immoral. They will do
Right,
whatever they
and
can make money doing.
well, I thought the corollary was that if it was so amoral that people would get upset about it, they would stop spending the money on it, and then it would go out of business or something like that. Isn't that the argument?
Well, I don't know. How do you look at what's happening today and say that they'll stop spending money on what's amoral or immoral? I
Yeah.
mean, what do people spend more money on than things that are immoral?
Well, yeah.
Sex,
Okay.
drugs, violence. Like what's more profitable than those things? Is that I mean,
That's
that's
it.
what you go to Facebook for, is controversy and rage and
As has
anger.
been proven. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I don't know, man. I, I'm a big fan of Apple. I have to actually call out another guy called yeah, Guardian. I have to say I feel sorry for them because it's a small company. It's run by some smart people, and they were doing really cool things. They were tearing apart the apps and looking inside them and finding out what domains which are being used for tracking, and then providing a way to block them. And I hope that they are able to adapt quickly enough to be able to not just be completely, put out of business by Apple.
yeah, no, I like it.
Because
I like it. It as a marketer, like I said, it kind of annoys me. Like, stupid Apple, now I have to figure out how to way to get people to enable their accelerometers or whatever. But as a person, I guess, and certainly as a capitalist, I think it's a good move. Makes my job
excellent.
harder, but I'll find a way around it.
Right, you probably will. Some sneaky underhand way that's not in the terms and conditions that's able to figure out what people are doing without them knowing that you're figuring it out,
Apple
and
didn't say I
then
couldn't do it.
target ads at them. That's what you're
That's
gonna do.
right.
You're gonna, oh God, why is
Appropriate
it all
ads
about
that they
ads again?
want to see that improves the quality of their lives, whether they knew it or not.
Now that is a bullshit line if ever I heard
What?
one.
Don't I look trustworthy?
Oh my God. Hey, if all this worked, right? Do you see relevant ads 100% of the time? Like if it
No,
worked all the time,
no.
people would do
But I do
nothing
see
else
relevant
except
ads
click on
often.
ads. How often? How often do you buy things from ads?
Um,
Oh, gotta think about that, haven't you?
well, so I'm thinking right now I'm getting targeted by rowing machines, regatta rowing
Oh,
machine, which looks
oh
beautiful.
yeah, yeah.
I'm on the fence about whether like an air-filled one or a water-filled one, like the air resistance or water resistance is better. But I see that ad and I click on it. I get
How
targeted
much are you getting
by
paid for this?
Wahoo, the Wahoo Kicker series of cycling training things, and I click on the ads and I read through. At some point, I'm going to buy one of those things, and I'm interested in the ads, and I click on them. Where I guess I would say I'm most annoyed with targeting right now is actually in politics, because I found that if I give money to a candidate who I like, all of a sudden I'm getting emails from 15 other candidates of the same party saying, "Hey, why don't you give us money? You probably opted into our list, right?" No, I did not. To the point that it made me
uh,
stop giving money to the first guy just because I got so fed up with the campaign emails. Now every time they come through, I just unsubscribe.
that's what I mean about capitalism at work. That's what I was talking about before. If they mess it up and do it badly, and it annoys you, then it will actually be
Yeah,
counterproductive. People will stop. Yeah.
sure. Or they know that if they keep flooding emails for every one of me that unsubscribes, three other perfectly reasonable people
Yeah,
will take my place.
you're probably
Dopes. Three
right.
other dopes will give money into my place.
Yeah, the other three Peters.
Those suckers.
Yeah, don't trust those guys, bro. Uh, more ads.
Bring it on.
Yeah, it
Watch
used
some
to be
ads
so
here.
simple.